Today's tutorial is for this simple beanie hat. It is very easy to crochet and it can be adjusted to any size. You can make it for adults or for children. The textured stitch over here is the one that I used in my previous tutorial, which was a scarf. So you can actually make a set, a beanie hat and a scarf. The yarn that I used to make this beanie is Big Twist Soft, which is 100% acrylic, category 4, and the beanie took about half the skein, that is about 160 yards or 85 grams, and the crochet hook size is K 6.5 millimeters. Please remember to give a like to my video, to leave me a comment, because your likes, your comments really help my channel to stay afloat. Thank you so much. I start with 36 chains. 1, 2, 3. Here I have 36 chains and I'm ready to start the first row. Into the second chain from the hook I make a half double crochet. We never count the chain on the hook, we always start counting from the next one. So 1, 2, and over here I make a half double crochet. And now I'm going to make a half double crochet into each one of the next 9 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and together with the first one that's 10 half double crochets in total, and half double crochets will form the ribbon of the hat. Next I'm going to crochet the main stitch or the main pattern of the hat, and here is how it's done. Into the next chain I work a single crochet, and into the next one I work a double crochet. And now I begin to alternate. Into the next chain I make a single crochet, and into the next chain I make a double crochet. And that's basically how I work it. A single crochet and then a double crochet. A single crochet and a double crochet. And I'm going to continue crocheting this main stitch until the last 3 chains. I crocheted the main stitch across to the last 3 chains, so my last stitch over here was a double crochet, and now into each one of these 3 chains I make a single crochet. 1, 2, 3. I turn my work and I start the next row with 1 chain, and now all the rows now are gonna be worked into the back loops only. So over here at the beginning of this row I have 3 single crochets, so I make a single crochet into each one of them, and I'm working into the back loop only. 1, 2, 3. Next I have the main stitch or the main pattern of the hat, and I'm going to work into the back loop only. I'm gonna make a double crochet into each double crochet and a single crochet into each single crochet. So over here I start with a double crochet, so I work a double crochet, and then into the next stitch, which is a single crochet, I work a single crochet, and again a double crochet and a single crochet, a double crochet and a single crochet. And that's how I continue crocheting all the way across to these last 10 half double crochets. I work the main stitch, and over here I have 10 half double crochets, and I make a half double crochet into each one of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this row is finished. I turn my work and I start the next row with 1 chain. And as I said, all the rows are now worked into the back loops only. So over here I have 10 half double crochets, so I work a half double crochet into each one of them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now over here I'm gonna work the main pattern. So it starts with a single crochet and then a double crochet. Again, a single crochet and a double crochet, all the way across to the last 3 single crochets. And then at the end of the row I make a single crochet into each single crochet. And this is how this hat is gonna be worked. I turn my work and now I repeat row 2 and then I will repeat row 3. So on this side over here where I have 10 half double crochets, that's where the ribbon of the hat will be formed. And then on this side where I have 3 single crochets, this is where I'm going to have decreases in the width, so that the top part of the hat is a little bit more narrow than the bottom of the hat. So now I'm just gonna continue crocheting, repeating the rows number 2 and number 3. I crocheted a total of 38 rows. So I was crocheting in this direction right here. And I have a total of 38 rows, but this is actually what the hat is gonna be like. This is gonna be the top of the hat, and this is the ribbon that will be rolled up like this once the hat is stitched together. So what I need to do now is to make the side seam over here and then close the opening on the top of the hat. So I'm gonna fasten off, but I'm going to leave a yarn tail long enough so that I can make the seam on the side and on the top. So again, over here I have a total of 38 rows. You can make more rows or fewer rows depending on how wide you want your hat to be, because this is gonna be the width or the circumference around the hat. In my case, the circumference of my hat is 21 inches, but I'm making the fabric of my hat over here 17 inches long because there's gonna be some stretch to it. So for the best fit, make sure to measure the circumference of your hat and adjust the length of the fabric over here accordingly. To stitch the hat together over here, I'm using a tapestry needle and I will be stitching on the right side of the hat. So this is the right side, and here is how I do it. I'm going to use the whip stitch. So I start at the bottom over here, and I'm actually going to make 2 stitches at the bottom like this, just to secure this bottom part. Okay, now this side is the last row of the fabric that I made, and this is where I crocheted into the original chain. So on this side where it's the last row, I'm inserting the needle under both loops, and on this side I insert under one loop because that's the loop of the original chain. So I insert the needle like this, and then I pull through the yarn, and then again I insert the needle on the right side under 2 loops, and over here it's under 1 loop, and again here under 2 loops, and over here under 1 loop. And that's how I continue stitching, making the seam on the hat. Oops, I missed the stitch. The next one is right here. So that was the 10 half double crochets, and now I'm gonna continue. Oh, actually there's one more half double crochet over here, and then I'm going to continue stitching where the main stitch was, and I do the same thing. On this side I insert the needle under 2 loops and over here under 1. And that's how I'm going to stitch it all the way to the top of the hat. Here I made the seam. This is what it looks like. Here I am at the top of the hat. Now I need to close it over here. But before I do that, I'm gonna hide in this short yarn tail. And I usually use a smaller size hook to do that. So I'm just gonna hide in that short yarn tail. And now I will actually turn my hat inside out, and I'm gonna make this last stitch closing the top of the hat on the inside. So these are the ends of rows, and I'm going to pass the needle through each one of them like this. And I will be pulling tight to close the gap. Here I pass the needle through all the stitches or ends of rows on the top of the hat, and now I'm just gonna pull it tight to close it, that gap. Like this, and I'm going to make several stitches over here to really secure that gap, to really close it. Okay, and now I secured the yarn tail, and I can cut it off. Now I turn the hat to the right side. This is what it looks like stitched on the top, and I fold it like this, and here it is. It's now finished.